Hey, and thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to be replacing the vinyl window on a 1983 Geo Metro. This car, I think it has the original window on it. It was so badly worn and dry rotted and just brittle that it really needed to be replaced. Now I didn't want to mess with that. I never done it before or anything, so I went to check a place that would do it for me, and the quote came back like $1,500. And so I looked online for kits that would let me do it, and they're available, but they run about $500. And one wasn't available for a Geo Metro anyway, so that forced me to go DIY. So that's what we're doing today. So the first thing I did is I went to Amazon and I got me a roll of marine vinyl 40 gauge, and that's what I'm going to use to make the window. And I also got um, some vinyl cement, uh, which really holds the window on tight. And I also got some neodymium button magnets, which are going to help me hold the window in place while I'm gluing it. But the first thing I need to do is make a template of the window shape so that I can cut the vinyl to the shape. And to do that, I got some Christmas wrapping paper. And my idea was to go ahead and tape this wrapping paper down all around the window. And then what I wanted to do, so I could get that like the perfect shape of the window, is wait till it got dark and then take a light and put it inside the car so it would really light up, and it would allow me to trace the window shape very exactly. Now you probably don't need to do this. I mean, I probably could have done it during the daytime and just freehanded or whatever, but um, I just thought this might give me better results. So, and it was just a idea I came up with, and I wanted to try it out, and I wasn't in a rush. So it's not like I had to finish this project in a day. So I taped the Christmas wrapping paper all around the window, and then just wait for nightfall. And this is what it looks like at night, so you can see it like lights up, so you can really see very easily the shape of the window. And I just took then a Sharpie and I just started tracing very carefully all around the window, trying to get it to be as exact as possible. So now that I have it all traced out, I took it and put it on a table and I cut it out to the shape. And so this is how the window, this is the actual measurements of the window, should correspond to this paper. Then I took the marine vinyl and I rolled it out, and now I'm using the Christmas paper template. I'm going to cut it out. Now I'm going to add about an inch and a half around, all around it. So that's going to be the part that's going to overlap the window, and so that's the part I'm going to be gluing actually, to the frame of the window. So as I was cutting, I was just making sure I left, like I said, about an inch and a half extra buffer. If you're going to err, you want to err on leaving too much material, because if you're too short, you're going to have to start all over. Although with as much marine vinyl as you get for 20 bucks, maybe it's about 25 bucks from Amazon, you could just go and do it over again. You would have enough material to start again, but no reason to waste it. And I had to use a straight edge, for the long piece, so I just used a 2x4 and I cut it out. And then we see here, this is the window, so it's all ready to go. Okay, now it's time to take out the old window. So just grab some trusty sharp scissors and just start cutting it out. Now this window is pretty crusty and brittle, but still was in places hard to cut, and some parts were less worn than others, and this was actually a pretty thick vinyl. I think thicker than the 40 gauge that I had gotten. So you just keep going around, and just be careful not to cut too far in. Make sure you're just cutting the cover, and if you leave a little bit of the old window out there, that's fine, because we're just going to be gluing right over it. And there goes the window. Looks a whole lot better now. So now it's going to be time for me to secure the window, and I have these neodymium button magnets, which are very strong, but you could use any like really strong magnets as long as it's strong enough to hold between the window and the cover, the canvas cover of your top. So what we'll do now is position the windows so we can start securing it, but as you'll notice, this keeps falling into the car, and so it just falls in. So it needs some support. So what I did is I got a tarp and stuffed it in the back there just to keep the window from falling in, because you can see right there. So I give it some support from behind, and then I use painter's tape on the top, because while I am going to use the magnets, the car has like an aluminum bar on the top, which is non-magnetic, doesn't allow me to use the magnet. So I use the painter's tape, and of course I use painter's tape so it wouldn't mar the mar the window or the top of the car. And then now it's time for us to glue it down using some vinyl cement. And this vinyl cement, or actually I think just about any vinyl cement, is really strong, so it really holds it into place. So I'm using the magnets to kind of keep the side parts of the window in place, using the painter's tape once it's in to hold it in place on the top. And then what I'm going to do is just start, putting down a bead of vinyl cement all along for about a 8-10 inch piece, probably go as far as a foot. And not too little, not too much, just enough to cover like the whole part of the vinyl window that's coming into contact with the roof of the car. So you put down a strip of it, and like I said, I couldn't use the magnets here, so I kind of had to like hold it down. So I kind of like smooth the vinyl cement all along the seam where I'd put it to make sure that it like evenly distributes all along in between the window and the roof. And then what I did was then just hold it in place. Now this takes about 5 minutes to set up, so you're gonna have to like, if it's the same situation as what I have here and you can't use magnets on the top, because I had aluminum bar here, then you just have to hold it for 5 minutes. But after 5 minutes it will adhere, and then you'll be set. And then after that you want to give it probably a good hour, and then after an hour it really should be bonding really, really well. So yeah, I'm just going to have to stay there and hold it for 5 minutes, and then once I'm done, I'm just going to be moving down the line and do the next foot of window seam. And when you're doing it on the sides, once I'm doing it on the sides, I was able to use the magnet, so I wasn't needing to hold it. So once I got past that aluminum bar that's on the top, I started using these magnets to hold it in place. And you can see here some just close-ups, and this is after I had put the cement down, and the magnets are just holding it down. And then going around, I found a few extra magnets here using for the bottom. And then we're finishing up here the last section on the bottom of the window. And once again, just drawing a bead of glue across. And then I will be moving the magnets. The magnets have been holding that previous seam down for over half an hour or so. Then I just slide the magnets, and I have a magnet on the inside and the outside, so they're both connecting. So that's 2 magnets. You can see me pushing the inside magnet. It's actually sliding the outside magnet with it. So you just move them down and reposition them to help hold down the glue that you just put down. And you just keep going like that. By the way, those funny looking magnets, they came from a hard drive. Those are actually magnets that you'll find in any hard drive. So if you have a junk hard drive, you want to break it open, you'll find some pretty powerful magnets in there that you can use. And now it's time for the flex tape. Now this is a 4-inch roll, and that was way too wide for what I needed. So I actually took this roll and cut it in half with my bandsaw, and then used just a 2-inch part, which is what I needed. And then that means I had plenty of extra tape uh, afterwards, which is good because otherwise I'm not sure I would have had enough if I hadn't have done that. So before you go and tape this down, first you want to cut the length of piece you'll need, and you want to make sure that it fits. So you kind of like pre-position it to see, okay, this is how it's going to go. Make sure that it's wide enough and that it's going to go about halfway over the vinyl and halfway over the window. And then you can go ahead and trim it around the seams, like at the ends, to make it so it's going to kind of taper around, so so it wouldn't look so square and blocky at the corners. And then you got to peel the backing off before you use it. Now, after you peel that backing off, be careful because this stuff is really sticky, and if it sticks to itself or grabs anything else, it's really hard to work with. It'll even stick to your fingers quite a bit. So you go ahead and just get it in position and try to get it halfway on the window, halfway on the on the cover, and you can kind of pull it back up if you put it on lightly and it's not quite. But then, well, when I used this, I got it on my fingers and started sticking really bad. And then putting it on there, I put it on, but then it didn't quite line up. I had it mostly on the window and only a little bit on the cover of the car. So I had to peel it up, and this shows you how much that vinyl cement holds. I mean, I was really pulling hard, and the vinyl cement held that window on the bottom very well. So just goes to show you that the window's not going to be going anywhere. And you can see I had part of this tape stuck on itself and had quite a bit of trouble pulling up, but eventually got it pulled out and repositioned. So just be careful working with it and go slow, and don't get too careless with the flex tape, and it'll work out fine. And just trim it up a little bit on the corners. And then we're just about done. There it is. So that's the new vinyl window, saying a whole lot better than what used to be there, and only less than $100 we got it all done. And this should last quite a long time. Good visibility on the inside. Looks good on the outside. And pretty happy with how it turned out. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you try it, how it turns out for you. Thanks for watching.